Hey, it's GJJ 1967, or Jerry James as known on YouTube. I haven't done a gun review in a long time, so I'm just going to try and make this quick. I recently acquired an FNX and an FNS, which is here, and I'm doing a striker fired kind of overview or kind of comparison with these different firearms. I also picked up a Q100 Grand Power, which is a rotary bolt, rotary lockup system. You can see how things rotate there. These ones are all a standard Browning breached lock tilt rotation. The trigger on this is just amazing. And there's a reset. It feels like it's about 3 pounds. And I paid like, I don't know, $656 with shipping for this. So it's actually, the other thing is, I guess I should have showed clear. All these guns are clear. Let's just do that first for the naggers. Everything's clear. Snap cap. Sorry. Yeah, right. So anyway, these are all fairly comparable because they're all after the same kind of market, and everything's kind of compared to the Glock 17, which is here. And I've got a 3.5 pound connector in here, which equates to a 3.5 pound trigger pull. I would consider this like very close to the Glock for size comparisons, but yet it's got a trigger that may, depending on your opinion, may or may not be better than the PPQ, which is kind of the new standard of trigger, that and the CZ model. There's that. Reset. It feels like it's about a ½ pound heavier than the new Q100. Oh, like it just goes. It's amazing. And it's like an Apex kind of designed aftermarket trigger, but it's factory. Very nice. The price range for these guns, this is probably about, you're looking at $800-900 with tax Canadian. This one cost me an arm and a leg back in the day, probably close to $1,000. But these guns plus the FNX cost me basically $600 each. I thought I'd go with something from FN because I'm getting kind of moving guns around and getting rid of a bunch and kind of thinning the herd, so to speak. So I thought, well, why not get an FN brand set of firearms, because they're around the $600 mark Canadian, and for me that's good value. I mean, in the States you can pick these up for $300 or $400, but that's the States, eh? Decock feature. Yeah. And I wanted to go with the FNX and FNS because they complement each other very well. They're basically the same styling, the same kind of grip that I'm going to get when I'm shooting it, just a little bit different with the trigger. Well, kind of a lot different because one's double action, single action, the other one's striker fired. But a good value. I'm not too happy with the slide release on them, but it is still fully ambidextrous. The trigger's still pretty good for both guns. But like I said, I'm not really kind of reviewing this gun or comparing it because it's a double action, single action, standard, conventional setup. This one, it's for an out of the box gun. It's probably, Glock reliability is the best in the world. It's probably not going to be quite as reliable and so on, but it'll be accurate. It's way more user friendly. The trigger's probably, I'd have to say the trigger's probably better out of the box than a Glock. Yeah, except this Glock's better because it's got the connector, 3.5 pound connector. So, because I'm in a dictatorship style country, I'm only allowed 10 rounds, so I can't. I mean, basically the two FNs and the Glock take the cake for. Here's a plug magazine. That's a 17 shot magazine normally, but I have to comply with the laws here, so I get the 10 shot deal. So all these guns are pretty comparable that way because the Canadian mags are all the same. There's no advantage to anything. So, but the advantage would go to the FMs and the Glocks. The other two pistols with the super triggers and the fully ambidextrous capabilities, you know, they're 15 shots in free nations or the free states or whatever you want to say. Yeah. But I would say for the dollar value, this is probably one of the best guns you'll ever buy in Canada, because it is a striker fired gun with an Apex light trigger, which is just incredible. Now I haven't fired these yet, so I'm really going out on a limb here. Well, no, I fired some of them. I shouldn't say that, but I haven't fired the Q100. But it, you know, I've owned Grand Powers before, and they've been pretty good. No issues. Very reliable. So anyway, that's kind of my review and comparison. It compares to the, like, size wise, compares to a Glock 17, little bigger, and its trigger is like that. It's either better or equal to a PPQ, which is a pretty high standard to live up to. Anyway, this is Jerry James for my review. Hope you liked it. Hopefully I wasn't stuttering and bumbling around too much. Have a nice day.